Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the class. I hope you all are safe and healthy too. Now, in session number 8, we are going to discuss very interesting and very simplest topic of the derivative, that is double derivative, also known as second order derivative, right? So, second order derivative means just it is derivative of derivative. It means we are going to do the derivative of the function twice instead of once. So now just have a look. It's very simplest topic. See, if the function is given as f of x, then its single derivative is denoted by f dash x and its double derivative is denoted by f double dash x, right? This is the symbolic notation. If the function is defined like y is equal to f of x, y is a function of x, then the derivative of this function is single derivative is denoted by y dash and double derivative is denoted by y double dash. Now, for the sake of convenience, sometimes this double derivative is also denoted by y2 by writing 2 in the subscription. Similarly, you may also go for the triple derivative, third order derivative denoted by y3, fourth order derivative. So it becomes like TDS if you are writing this bars over the y. That's why this language has been converted or replaced with y1, y2, y3. So this is the another way of denoting the derivative of the function. If the function is defined like y is equal to f of x. Similarly, if the function given as f of x, then the derivative is denoted by f dash x, double derivative denoted by f double dash x, triple derivative is denoted by f triple dash x, and so on. There are n number of times you can do the derivative until the derivative vanishes. So कहाँ तक हम derivative करते हैं, जहाँ तक उस point तक हम derivative करेंगे कि वहाँ जहाँ उसकी value क्या हो जाए, it become a constant, and then thereafter if you are doing the derivative many number of times, it doesn't make any sense. So this is the way of notation of denoting the higher order derivative. But in our syllabus, we are having still double derivative only, so we are not focusing on this part. Clear? So you already know how to do the derivative of the given function through various techniques, various methods by using the fundamental formulas, right? With the help of same formulas, with the help of same methodology and techniques, today we are going to discuss the double derivative one, that is exercise 5.7 from NCERT textbook. So I am taking the exercise 5.7 exercise. Yeah. To discuss today 5.7. Few questions will take. Remember, we are going to discuss what? Second order derivative. Second order derivative. Right. So here you can remember, here it is represented by f double dash x or y double dash or y2 or d square y by dx square. So there are several notations to denote the second order derivatives. So accordingly, you may use the symbol notation. Now I'm taking the question. In 5.7, from question number 1 to 10, they are asking just find the double derivative, that is d square y by dx square, also f double dash x, whatever you say. Now I'm taking the question only randomly. I am taking the question here. Question number 5, x cube into log x. The question number 5 I am taking directly, x cube into log x. This is a simple function. Now I'm taking this function as y. So y is equal to x cube into log x. Then ultimately, if you do the derivative or differentiate with respect to y, so always make a habit to write differentiate with respect to x. Then ultimately it become what? Dy by dx is equal to, or you may also write y dash. Now here it is the function, right, in product. So we have to do the product rule, that is u into v rule. Hence I can write x cube into the derivative of log x plus log x into the derivative of x cube. So simply in the next step you will write like dy by dx is equal to the derivative of log x is 1 by x, hence the their product will give resultant will give x square. The derivative of x cube is 3x square, then I can write 3x square into log x, right? Now again, this is the result number one. Always in this process, the main thing, the main glitch, or you can say the main key point of the entire topic is always start with the given question as result number one or equation number one. Once you do the derivative, take it as second result and then go for the second derivative, because sometimes we need to use these results in the second order derivative to get the simplified answer. That is why always consider the given function as first equation, first derivative as a second equation, and then third equation will be the answer. Three. Now do the second derivative. Again differentiate with respect to x. So again differentiate with respect to x. So it will be what? D square y by dx square is equal to simply the derivative of x square is 2x, and you can keep 3 as a constant. Again, if you observe, it is a product of two functions. U and v rule can be applicable. Hence, x square into derivative of log x plus log x into derivative of x square. Now simply do the derivative. 2x plus 3 times of x square into log x derivative is 1 by x, then the entire product will give only x, plus derivative of x square is 2x, hence 2x into log x. Now simply do the multiplication. Inside it becomes 3x plus 6x into log x. The final answer would be 5x plus 6x into log x. You may take x as a common factor, hence the final answer you could say 5 plus 6 log x. So it is simple, the double task. That's it. So what I'm speaking here, while doing the double derivative, only the one thing you need to take care, that is the symbol which we are using to denote the double derivative. Very carefully you need to write d square y by dx square. Second is consider the given question as equation 1, and once you do the derivative, consider it as an equation number 2. Whenever it is required to prove something, we may have to use the result 1 and 2 or both in the subsequent step to get the final answer. That is the only key point, nothing else. As usual, product rule, quotient rule, and chain rule, this will be applicable in randomly in wherever it is required. Fine. So let's take some more questions and some tricky questions too. Yeah. So in question number 1 to 10, it's simple. You can carry with this way and you can simply get the answers. What else thereafter then? From question number 11 onwards, if you see that questions are asking like proof that. What they are asking like question number 11 I am taking just to understand what they are asking. If y equal to 5 cos x minus 3 sin x. If, then prove that d square y by dx square equal to double derivative plus y equal to 0. So see here what they are asking, this is a function, y is a function of x, then prove that double derivative answer plus the y, that is means the given function, their sum is equal to 0. Simply to prove it is 0, we have the value of y, only we need to calculate double derivative. And then once we calculate the double derivative, we'll simply substitute the results in this equation to get 0. This is the simple aspect. Now see, if I go with that, so I would say first single derivative answer. So first let the given question as result number 1 and then go for derivative dy by dx. Derivative of cos x is minus sin x. The answer would be minus 5 sin x. Sin x derivative is cos x. So this is what result number 2. And then go for the double derivative here, that is denoted by d square y by dx square is equal to sin x derivative is cos x, so minus 5 cos x, and cos x derivative is minus sin x, it becomes plus 3 sin x, right? So this is what the double derivative, we can say it's result number 3. So now I can use this results 1, 2, 3 to prove the resultant one. That is one of the way. See what I am doing, I am simply substituting the values of the uh, double derivative, single derivative or value of the function in the given equation to prove the RHS part. So double derivative answer is this. So I am just substituting here minus 5 cos x plus 3 sin x plus value of y. Value of y means the given question. So it becomes what? 5 cos x minus 3 sin x. Just take this left hand side. Now you can see these terms are get cancelled. Answer is 0. So you got the answer that RHS. Hence proved. This is one of the way to solve the question, and it is a very regular one. Everyone can do and everyone can understand that once you do the single derivative and double derivative, go for substitution in the given equation to make it satisfied or to prove it is equal LH is equal to RHS. The second way, the people generally those who are good at calculations and those who are good at thinking process, right? So they may think rationally. How? The alternative way to prove the same thing. See what they can do. Alternative way. I am taking alternative. It's not necessary to do in this way. There are several ways to think a question. Now, I'm just modifying this third equation in such a manner that I can directly get the desired result. Now, if I take minus common from this entire expression, it becomes 5 cos x minus 3 sin x. So, hence, what I would say, d square y by dx square equal to, if you look at this expression, it is just similar to the y. I can replace this entire expression with y, right? So ultimately it becomes minus y. It is obtained from equation 1. Now simply shift this y over here, that is on the left hand side. So you will get this as 0 as proved. It's the smartest way to solve the question. Many a times this skill is help you out to prove the things in simplest way where you can save your time, and that is a major key point during the examination, right? So you have to save your time. For that you need to practice a lot to develop this type of skill where you can modify the derivative answers in such a manner so that the desired result can come directly without doing this a general technique where we are substituting the values and simplifying the remaining one. Okay, so now to understand such a type of questions and where you require this type of skill, we are going to take few more questions. See, I'm taking the example number 41. It's beautiful question. Example 41 from the textbook. If y is equal to sine inverse x, it's an inverse function, then then show that 1 minus x square into d square y by dx square minus x into dy by dx is equal to 0. So if you look at this question, what you understand, this is a function where you can find single derivative and double derivative first, and then you can go for this where double derivative answer would be uh, substituted, and here single derivative answer, and multiply both the factors with 1 minus x square and minus x respectively, and you will get the answer 0. This is the simplest way. Wherever you will not get any idea, just go for this substitution method. But what else if I want to do the question in smartest way? I need a intuition, strong intuition to get the answer. And for that, what I would suggest, while doing the derivative, if you are getting under root terms, right? While doing the derivative, if you are getting under root terms, go for squaring on both the side technique. It will reduce your task. Let's see. Let's have a look over this solution. So this is y is equal to sine inverse x. Let it is your result number 1. Now go for derivative. So I am just writing here what we call dy by dx. I may also write it as, for sake of convenience, I am writing y dash, and derivative of sine inverse x is 1 upon under root of 1 minus x square, right? Where you can write x is lies between minus 1 to 1, and that condition you have to remember, leave it that one. You may also write, for sake of convenience, x must be lies between minus 1 to plus 1 to hold this derivative true. And you know, whenever you are applying the derivative of inverse function, if you are writing this, means you are very much clear about the domain of the derivative of these functions. It shows that you are very clear about the content. Chali. Then thereafter you can go with the double derivative also, but yeah, it is done. Now what I'm doing smartly, first I will try to reduce this to what, instead of quotient rule, I will take this into product rule, and since it has under root term, I will prefer squaring concept, squaring on both the side concept, so that in the next step it become a simplest one where I can go for double derivative. Okay, so first if I do that one, what I would say, uh, under root of 1 minus x square into y dash equal to 1. Now do the squaring on both the sides. Squaring on both the sides. If I do that, what I would say is, if I do squaring on both the sides, square root get cancelled. It become 1 minus x square. Y dash, it's just like a variable. Y dash square equal to square 1 is 1 only. So if I go with derivative now, that is for second order derivative, I will be able to get this answer directly. See, let's have a look. So I am writing differentiate with respect to x on both the sides. So ultimately it is in the form of u into v rule. that is product rule I need to apply. So I am applying that only. 1 minus x square into y dash square derivative plus y dash square into derivative of 1 minus x square and derivative of 1. This is the derivative concept where you need to be rule applied. Now 1 minus x square into, it is in the form of x square, right? So hence its derivative is 2x, that is 2x into the derivative of y dash is y double dash. Shall I repeat? Here it is in the form of x square. So derivative of x square is 2x and the derivative of x, because we are following the chain rule over here. Hmm? Remember, then y dash square into derivative of 1 is 0 and derivative of x square is 2x, hence it reduces to minus 2x, derivative of 1 is 0. After this, if I able to take some common factor, let's take that one, and what you will get. Here I can take 2 as a common factor, as well y dash is also a common factor. So I am taking 2y dash as a common factor. Remaining is 1 minus x square into y double dash plus y dash into minus x equal to 0. Now, since y dash is a coefficient, it's just like a numeral, I can take in denominator, then it would be vanishes, right? The remaining would be the answer. You can see I got the answer directly. This is. So without doing the simple substitution of the result 1 and result 2 and y in the equation to get 0, I can go with the smart way. Smart way means sometimes we need to do the squaring on both the side. Try to reduce the quotient rule to get into the product rule by doing the cross multiplication. So these small things will require to do the questions in simplest manner. Okay. Now let's have another question where you will see the logic again. Here you can see the question number, I would say 13th one. 13th question. If y is equal to 3 cos of log x function of function plus 4 sine of log x, then show that x square into y2, that is y2 means double derivative, plus x into y1, that is single derivative, plus y means the function itself. Answer is 0. So now see, go first with the equation 1, that is the given question as equation 1. Then go for simple derivative. Since already in the question they are representing the derivative with y1, y2 language, that is why preferably I will denote the derivative of y as y1. Y1 equal to, then 3 as a constant I will keep outside. Derivative of this function cos theta, derivative is minus sine theta into derivative of log x is 1 by x. That is a chain rule I have applied over here. Then similarly again it is a function of function, then we'll go with the chain rule. Sine theta derivative is what? Cos theta. So cos of log x into derivative of log x is 1 by x. I am doing directly. I assumed that you people are very good at applying the chain rule. Now Once you do this derivative, again try to take a common factor wherever it is required so that it will reduce your task. So 1 by x, I think it's a common factor from both the parts. I would take 1 by x as a common factor before going for the second derivative. So ultimately I would say 1 by x as a common factor becomes minus 3 sine of log x plus 4 times of cos of log x. This is the remaining one. Now I would say I can take this x in multiplication. So x into y1 equal to minus 3 sine of log x plus 4 times of cos of log x. So this is the result number 2 where you have simplified the function with the first derivative. Simplified answer I have assumed it as second equation, and then I will go with the derivative of this part again. Again next step, that is again differentiate with respect to x. So what I would say here, since it is the product of two what we call variables, then I can use a chain rule over here, that is x into derivative of y1 is y2, and simply y1 into derivative of x is 1. I have applied u into v rule directly, so I am even, I am going to write 1 even. Then similarly minus 3 will be out. Then it is again a function of function. So derivative of sine of log x is cos of log x into 1 by x. 4 times of cos of log x is minus sine of log x into 1 by x. What? Now again take some common factor if possible. So here 1 by x is a common factor. The remaining one I am writing minus 3 cos of log x minus 4 sine of log x. Just see how the answer would be reduced very smartly here. I can take this x in multiplication. So the left hand portion becomes x square into second order derivative x into first order derivative equal to, if I take minus common from this entire expression, you could see it becomes a given function. See, 3 log x plus 4 sine of log x will become y. So this entire expression reduced to what? Y. So in the next step I can write x square into y2 plus x into y equal to minus y. It is obtained from equation 1. Now simply take this y over here, you will see the desired result obtained. So final answer would be x square into y2 plus x into y1 plus y equal to 0. So this is your final answer. How simple it looks like. So if we are not using these tricks, just like I have taken 1 by x as a common factor, then I took x in multiplication, then I go for second order derivative. So why? Because of taking this common factor, it reduced to a simplest one where I can do the second order derivative. Again, I took the common factor, I took in cross multiplication, and then again I have used this form equation 1 to reduce this expression to y. Then I simply able to get the final answer without substituting the second order derivative, first order derivative, value of the function in the question. So there are several ways to get the desired equation or desired answers in second order derivative questions or exercise. You need to practice a lot for this. So I would suggest Just go with the exercise, each and every question of this exercise, including examples. Do practice more and more. Use pen and paper for practice to get the confidence. Okay, so this is all about today's session. So we are ended with the second order derivative, that is 5.7. Now in this chapter I would say the total concepts are over. The only thing is higher order thinking skill questions, which will be covered in the session 9. That would be the last session of the derivative topic. So thank you for watching me since so long, and keep watching, keep learning, keep growing, and be safe, be healthy. Thank you. Bye bye. See you in session 9.